In this homework sheet, we're just practicing our ability to solve a linear system by graphing. And I also wanted you to practice the 3 different cases. So it actually works out perfectly because each of these homework questions is a special scenario when we work with linear systems. Okay, so the first one, you had to rearrange both equations, slope-intercept form. I mean, I guess you could have solved an intercept, but I think most of you would have rearranged. So put it in slope-intercept form, and once I saw the 2 equations, I realized that the slopes of the 2 lines were negative reciprocals. But you know what? That doesn't really mean much. It just means they intersect at a right angle. But ultimately, there's still simply one solution to this linear system. So anyways, the point of intersection is 2, 1. For my second linear system, I rearranged and I realized that the 2 slopes are the same. They both have a slope of 1 and the y-intercepts are different. So right away, even without the graphing, I know that the 2 lines are parallel and there's no solution to this linear system. But I graphed the 2 lines and showed it anyways. For the third linear system, I changed it to slope-intercept form, and I realized that both the lines are actually the same. They might look different from the beginning, but once you work with it and isolate for y, you realize that the 2 equations are truly identical. In fact, you could have said that in the very beginning, or noticed that in the very beginning, because you can tell that the first equation that I've labeled, I labeled this as equation 1. If I double equation 1, I'll get equation 2. So you know, from the onset, you could have noticed that the 2 equations are really the same equation. Okay, so since they're the same equation, then I know that the 2 lines are coincident. I just graphed one. You might not see the 2 different lines, but they're on top of one another. So anyways, the lines are coincident, you have infinite solutions. Now the way you write it is, you want to show that every single point on this line of y equals half x plus 2 is a solution to the linear system. So generally we replace x with another parameter, so we say like t or anything else really you want. So if x is equal to t, then your y coordinate will be in the form of half t plus 2. If you wrote even x and half x plus 2, I could do that as well. Okay, so this is a very good practice for your ability to solve a linear system by graphing, and it just goes over the 3 different scenarios you can expect when you solve a linear system.